The environment is a finely woven mantle, which is beginning to unravel before our eyes, and meat eating carries much of the blame. We have no physical need to eat meat, yet the world now contains 3 times as many farm animals as humans. Livestock have huge appetites for grass and corn and wheat, so much so that nearly 80% of all agricultured land in Britain is used to support them. It takes as much as 10 kilograms of vegetable protein to produce 1 kilogram of meat. The most wasteful recycling program ever devised. So demanding are they that the soil is pushed beyond its capacity to cope, force-fed on a diet of pesticides and fertilizers. Pesticides are poisons used to kill seeds, insects and fungi. They can and do kill humans. We know that they destroy species other than those that they are aimed at and can upset the natural balance of ecosystems. We know that they increase in concentration as bigger creatures eat smaller creatures. A water bird, like the grebe, at the top of the food chain, can have pesticides in its body 80,000 times stronger than those in the water in which it lives. We know that 50 of the chemicals used are suspected of causing cancer. We know that meat contains about 14 times more residues than vegetables. There are pesticide traces in almost all the food we eat. We know that without the need to feed animals, farmers could return to crop rotation. They could farm organically and turn their backs on these nerve gas derivatives. Constant demands on the land to produce more crops to feed more animals are unsustainable. These hyped up production levels can be achieved only temporarily by swamping the soil with expensive nitrogen-based fertilizers. Some nitrogen runs into rivers, spurring the growth of algae, boosting the growth of bacteria and choking all life from the water. Some floods down into underground reservoirs, and yet, if we stop eating animals, the whole population could be fed from just 30% of the land with no need for chemical fertilizers. It would breathe again, regenerate itself, recover its health. The United States, the world's largest consumer of meat, has lost 1/3 of all its topsoil. Huge areas of the western states can no longer support the agriculture, and the land may well return to buffalo pasture. Underground water supplies are depleted faster than they can be replenished with rain. The soil ceases to provide even grazing, and as they do, they consume more water in new places. Livestock's demand for water is as destructive as its demand for food. In the case of beef grown on irrigated pastures, 12 times as demanding as vegetables. In Britain, nearly a half of all arable land is now at risk of erosion as intensive farming destroys the very structure of the soil. The world has a new problem, an endless supply of animal excreta, stored in slurry form, 100 times more polluting than human waste. It just keeps on accumulating, too prolific to be absorbed by the land. Bacteria turns its ammonia into acid. It evaporates, joins with nitrous oxide from fertilizers, combines with industrial pollution, and forms acid rain. Its legacy is sour, unproductive soil and dead and dying forests, rivers and lakes. Almost forgotten in the avalanche of other environmental disasters, acid rain is devastating the northern habitats of Europe and America. In some countries, slurry is its principal cause. An end to livestock production would dramatically slow the decay.